Shut it down when it start, when they need me now. Tell my mama all the time on the TV now. Fuck around, stay live if you see me now. That shit kinda get kinda tedious. I'm a minute for some time, going easy. Yeah. See my shawty FaceTime, can you see me? Oh no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm in your city.
Welcome back to the Pabs Pod. It's your boy Pabs Prince. Today I'm accompanied by one of the greatest designers in Chicago, in the world. He's the owner of Lauredo Projects. Very stylish individual. Let's give it up for Juliano.
Appreciate you having me, dog.
Thank you. Long overdue.
Yes.
We talked about this like in the summer of last year, I think, when you were just randomly going to Barbaro.
Yeah, we literally. I had seen you. I had seen another friend of ours. And yeah, we were just chopping it up, and I was like, man, I would love to do the podcast. And yeah, overall, I've always enjoyed like the graphic design work you've posted, like the events you throw. Like I'm a real big fan of somebody who like can't stay still essentially and is like a jack of all trades. So that's something I admire of you for sure. And likewise, I was like, yeah, we should do something.
We're very similar. You're also like a jewelry dealer, right? That was like something that.
Yeah, I was doing it for like 2.5 years. I started off as a watch dealer, so
flipping Rolexes and shit.
Yeah, like flipping Rolexes, vintage watches, literally anything under the sun that constitutes as like a luxury watch. But mostly it was always just flipping Rolexes. And then yeah, that was like my only full-time job for like a solid 2-ish years. It was cool, it was fun.
And you don't do it anymore?
Nah, I don't do it anymore, man. It just took a toll on me mentally, like for me at least. You know, there's other people that still actively do it, like shout out to them. But for me, like at least in like this city, it just attracted some attention that I wasn't a fan of. You know, I was new to like that industry, I guess, to that lifestyle. Money was fast, it was crazy fast. And I think where I was at in my life at that point, I don't think I was prepared for fast money like that. I have zero regrets. I had a time, but like I wish that money would have been spent a little more wisely. Now that I look at it,
How old are you, bro? Sorry, I don't know.
No, you're good. I just turned 31.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just
I'm
turned 31.
30 in May.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one thing I'm noticing. Just even with the clothing shit, I know you brought up credit earlier. Like I've definitely ran up some cards, and yeah, this clothing shit isn't easy, and you spend a lot of money, investing in it. You know what I mean?
Bruh, yeah, and I feel like the watch stuff was definitely, it was taking me away from like clothing and like designing and what I really want to do, because there's days I'd wake up and I would like calculate how much I had to hustle today to like meet ends meet, because it was like everything was up in the air, you know, like I had to make sure like in the back of my mind I was like, damn, it's, let's say today it's March 7th, right? I gotta or today's March 8th, I'm sorry. I gotta, like, I'm 8 days into the month, I've only sold one watch, like I just need to sell like maybe like 1 or 2 more, and I'll be cool on rent. I'll be cool on this, and I could still go out to eat.
I would
brunch.
Appreciate your make it back Mondays. Like,
I would. Like, I would say like for an industry that's mainly dominated by like Middle Easterns or Asians or like folks in that realm, like being Latino and being from Chicago and being fairly as young as I'd like to think. I feel like I made it cool, especially with like social media and all that. Like I would try to put my own twist on things to get, sales essentially, and it would work. But like I was saying, like I found myself investing more into watches and jewelry than I was in my clothes. Like, bro, there was a time like I had put up like $15K just for a watch, and that like ended up terribly for me. I just it was a bad situation where I wasn't paid out for that watch for a while. Just it was just bad business. I guess it was like a little poor decision making on my end, but fuck it, we move.
It's crazy because like aside from this setting, I don't think I would have ever like known, right? Because I've always see people like talk about like posting their L's and like, but I'm not necessarily an advocate for it. I feel like I keep my L's to myself.
Yeah.
But it is like good to hear sometimes. Like everyone does go through it, and we all make like.
No, it's humbling, bro. I think
Yeah.
I'm like I said, in hindsight, like I have zero regrets. I think all those L's were necessary for me to transform into like the human being that I am currently, like today.
Yeah.
And I feel like we all need to go through some transformative period. At least once a year. The way I be telling people, like, hey, y'all need to do shrooms once a year, transform the brain. That like we always got to go through some type of L or humbling experience.
Shit.
And like,
I might do shrooms today. Wait, if we could take it back. So when did you start designing? Like, were you always a designer like in high school?
Oh no.
Okay.
Fuck no.
What?
My bad. Can I swear on this?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
You too.
I'm gonna try to make this story time not as long-winded as possible. So I had a group of friends in high school, right?
What high school? Shout 'em out.
I went to a charter high school up north. It was called Northtown Academy. It was a CICS high school. So they have CICS Bucktown, CICS Belden. I forgot what the other ones are called, but like if you went to those CICS middle schools, you were guaranteed a spot at those high schools. If not, you had to lottery your way in. I guess I got lucky if I hit like the lottery to get in. But
Charter is like private, or that's just
I don't even. It's so hard to explain because like it's backed by public, but it's owned privately, which is a little. It's a little weird how it works out. But there was like I guess like my mom had this impression like it was gonna be an amazing school,
Right.
but the minute I walk in, like my first day, and you had to wear like dress shoes, a shirt and tie, like
Uniform.
everything.
Damn.
Yeah, it wasn't no simple uniform, not like no polo shirt. Like I feel like a lot of other schools would do. This was like the whole fucking. Man, I hated wearing a button up and a tie, you know, especially at a school with no air conditioning. But anyways, first day I walk in, boom, somebody shooting dice in the hallway, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm taking this off. I instantly, like my first day, threw it out. But anyways, this is where I start getting off tangent. I had a group of friends, right? It was me, my boy Christian, Edgar, Eric, to start out with. Those were like the first guys I kind of like gravitated to. I walked in, I changed once I seen like what it was like in there, like people like, you know, shooting dice and like smoking in the hallways. I was like, bet, like I gotta acclimate really quick. Took the tie off, took off my dress shoes, and I swapped them into like some Nike SBs. I think that specifically they were like the grip tape mids, and I'm walking through the hallways and like those dudes, Christian, Eric, and
you get some compliments.
Edgar, they were awesome. Yo, like, damn, where you get what them here? You know, and then we kind of just hit it off, and then they were all skaters. I tried to skate, I couldn't skate. But I feel like, and I may be a little biased here, but I feel like streetwear or fashion in general always stemmed, or a large part of it stemmed from like skateboarding culture.
Facts.
Especially in cities like Chicago, New York.
Yeah.
Now I'm not from New York. I frequent New York often, but like I'm from the Lupe Fiasco kick push era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like
I think the jerk era was a little like if you're 31, I feel like when I was in high school, jerking like that dance was very popular. But
yeah, for sure.
Were you also like influenced by that or not? Really?
I mean, not for me because they're from California. I wasn't really fucking with no California.
Like your jeans were still baggy in high school.
They were baggy. No, so I'll tell you what. So we all were like, so me and all those same homies, we all had the same pair of jeans. They were like, look, you go get some Levi's 511s or $50 at Sears. You know, scramble some shit together, like golden era of clothing prices. But we would get them like they were skinny jeans. But at the time, I think I weighed like 140 pounds. Now I damn near weigh like 195. So I would get like a 34 by like 30. So they were like wide enough in the waist that it would look baggy up here, but like almost like kind of straight towards the bottom. And then we would sag them, wear like a shoelace as a belt. And then they had like these little, they had like this whiskering effect behind the calves, almost as if like they were like selvage, but they were regular ass like Levi's jeans. And so like, I kind of like didn't like step away entirely from baggy, but I couldn't commit fully to skinny jeans like that. Yeah, no.
No, my shit was tight. I was getting I was getting the girl jeans from like Hot Topic and shit.
No,
Like, I didn't know where
you're
to get them.
crazy as hell. Nah, I couldn't.
It
I
was
couldn't
like a
go
whole
that
different
far.
time, bro.
Nah, because you know what the fucked up part about it is, I always thought like, don't get me wrong, at the time I was like, damn, skinny jeans are kind of raw, like, but I always I feel like I think so calculated on some like, but if I'm on the bus on my way home and I get in a fight or somebody starts flaming me for these skinny ass jeans, like, what am I gonna do? You know, so I would always think like just ridiculous scenarios in my head.
Yeah.
So no, I couldn't fully commit to the tight ass jeans.
Okay, so you started paying attention to like what you wore in high school, and then come like what, college, you invented Lauredo Projects?
Damn, see, this is where I went off tangent again. Okay, so that same friend group, right? They all low key had like swag back then. Like they all had drip.
Skaters had it.
Yeah, they all had crazy drip. And then my boy Edgar, he was I believe he still is. I don't keep in contact with any of these folks no more. Like, life just kind of went on. They did their own, we all did our own thing. But Edgar was a phenomenal artist from what I remember. He would just like drop anything with a pencil. And time went on. Now we're all going to college. Edgar's the only one going to Columbia. He's going for graphic design, obviously. And I was just like, and I was just going just to go. I went to college DuPage, far as fuck. I had noticed that I was spending so much of like my hard-earned money, so I worked at Aldi part-time to just afford whatever I wanted.
Love Aldi.
Shout out Aldi. And I found myself always like scraping like my little coin to buy like Stone Island, Babe, Supreme. I would even go to I would go crazy at like Juggernaut, St. Al's, or like when Joe Freshkas was just Dope Boy Magic or DBM. Like when he did that DBM sport little movement back in like.
He had a whole fashion show with like the cars and shit.
Yeah. I was going crazy. I was spending so much money, and that was before Klarna and Afterpay and all that. So I was like really just spending bread. And one day I was like, man, you know what? Like I think we had all like linked up to just like smoke or whatever. I was like, you know how easy it would be for us to make clothes. Like we all got some sense of like drip, essentially. We all know so many different people. We're all from different neighborhoods in the city. We all go to different colleges. We all went to different high schools. Like, and Edgar, you're the graphic design artist here. We all got MacBooks. Like we might as well put some shit together. So we tried to like form a group like on some B2K shit just for clothing though. But it didn't work out because like I felt like I always had I was always privy to like a business mindset, and when I put numbers together, they were awesome. Damn, like what the fuck? Like nobody was just complaining about the bread.
What was the name? Do you have it? You know
I think it was called. We were teetering between two. One was called Vicious, but it was spelled like CHI in the middle, and it had like some little like accents above a certain letter or whatever. And then the other one was called For Life, FOUR, and then just life is spelled how it's spelled. But we ran with For Life, and Edgar was putting out hella designs for us because he was like, damn, I fuck with that one. You know, like it's 4 of us, 4 stars on the Chicago flag. And I feel like at that time everybody was so like there was just like this ginormous Chicago movement, you know, like because of Joe Freshgoods, Chief Keef, Chance the Rapper, Save Money, like all eyes were like on Chicago, so everything was so like Chicago, you know. But yeah, and nothing really came out of it, and then slowly but surely, like we kind of just started drifting away, not because like there was any like bad blood, it was just life had happened. But I still was like, you know what, I can't rely on Edgar anymore. Like I gotta teach myself. So bro, literally, and I have the attention span of a fucking fly sometimes. Like, so I would try to be on YouTube learning stuff. Shit, I would even sneak into some of like the graphic design lectures, because at the time, like
in the page,
because it's just so crazy to me. Like even some of my homies who had like their day off or like didn't have class, I'm like, yo, you want to go to class with me? They're like, yeah, fuck it. And the instructors would never notice a thing. Like, oh, who are you? You know, like
there's probably hella people in there.
Yeah, hella people in there, and like I would just take advantage of like the ginormous like Mac desktops and try to teach myself something. And so then the first design like I had finally like made by myself. Oh my god, that shit took me like 4 hours to make. I damn near wanted to like rip my hair. I was like, I should have took an Adderall for this, but it was around the time the Cubs had won the World Series. I had looked up an old Polo Bear Ralph Lauren design where it was like a bear and just wearing all white, holding a tennis racket. Swapped out the tennis racket for a baseball bat. And then I like, at the bottom, like for
Ralph, it has
it always says like Polo Bear by Polo Ralph Lauren. So I had swapped it out and I put Cubby Bear by Ralphie Laredo. That's what I put.
Yeah, that was the original name, right? For the brand.
Yeah, not for the So then, so once I did that, and I was just like fucking around. I had showed it to like a couple of my homies. They were like, "Yo, let me get that shirt. Let me get that shirt." Whatever. Made it at like 1 hour tees. It was strictly DTG on like a regular gray, like I want to say like a Gildan Hammer tee.
Shout out 1 hour tees, man. They definitely come.
Man, shout out 1 hour tees. A couple of those people were so patient with me and so nice, and they kind of like put me on to some shit when I was like, just coming in on a random weekday. Like they didn't have nothing to do, But yeah, shout out to them for real. But yeah, that was essentially like the first kind of, I guess, stepping stone to just for Lauredo Projects. And designing. And it just made me more curious and
all Photoshop? Or like...
All on Photoshop. Oh my God, no. I tried to teach myself Illustrator. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't like, for me at least, it wasn't user friendly. And then I started finding out about other like softwares that came out down the line, like what's another one? Procreate. I was about to say Pro Tools. Procreate.
That's good for like your iPad or they got a Procreate on their phone. I don't know if you got that one.
No, I don't. I don't even have an iPad. But I tried Procreate out, and I was like, I'm not really fucking with this. I'm more of a Photoshop kind of guy.
You can do a lot on Photoshop.
You definitely can. And then, I think like the thing that I struggled with a lot was like, the more I was trying all this out, a lot of places were like, no, we don't accept PSD files. Like you got to vectorize it. And then here we are all these years later. I met my boy Aldrin. Shout out Casa Silk Screening. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, bro, I accept PSD. And I was like, oh. And after that, I was like, I'm in this hoe.
He'll convert it for you.
Yeah. And that's.
Been going crazy ever since.
Been going crazy ever since. Like I said, my answers be long-winded sometimes. Yeah.
What do you have planned for the brand now? Like, I know you just dropped the reminiscence of the Rhino brand. And,
what did you just call it? The
reminiscence.
The reminiscence.
Of the Rhino brand?
I'm glad you said that because I've been trying to figure out what my play is on this. So like this is where I'm at with the brand, right? I mostly pay for everything. I have like a angel investor, essentially. Yeah, but it's like my boy though. It's like one of my closest homies. And cause he like when we first met, he came to one of my pop-ups and he spent like, this boy spent like a rack. And I'm like, what are you buying? Like, I'm grateful for this, but what are you buying all this shit for? He's like, what you mean? He was like,
believe in it.
Yeah, and he was like, what you mean? Like, it's heavy. It's everything I like when I buy shit. And he frequents like Miami, New York, LA all the time just to like splurge on himself, And he's always spending bread on like Kith or like ALD. And he was like, man, your shit kind of feels similar to them, but that could just be my bias, And he bought it, and he like the reason why he spent so much was he bought a few of the things for like his siblings, his cousins. Like he was trying to drip out like the whole
probably
fam.
Like the first person to like question.
Yeah,
a returning
and
customer.
I was like, yo, what do you need? What are you doing with this, bro? And then one thing led to another. He was like, every time I seen him, he was always like, yo, so what's going on with the brand? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? So I'm like, brother, I would love to make something once a month, but it's just me. I still have a job. I still have rent. I still have a light bill. Like, and this shit is expensive. Like, I want to say all that shit that he spent his bread on. Let me see. I put out 3 variations of a hoodie. I put out some Dickies jackets. And I think, what else? I think like some like heavy enzyme washed sweatpants, right? No secret. Similar to like other heavyweight brands, I use Los Angeles apparel. I've tried to go the Alibaba route and get like very heavy garments and enzyme wash shit from China, but I don't know. It's not like it's not my cup of tea.
Standard.
It's not up to my standard, And like, so I told him, I was like, look, what I paid to get this shit made just for the hoodies alone, I spent like $1,600. You know what that's like on top of rent, on top of this? Like I can't do that every month try to sell, because then you get faced with the challenge. Like so many people want it,
Yeah.
but so many people don't want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
think like you're about to place this order and have all these like customers that
yeah, half the shit I gotta give away for free.
it just sits.
You know, and it's not even on some like here. It's on some like, you know, that meme where like one of your homies is like looking at your food and you're like, here, dog, just take it. You know, like it's not one of those. It's on some like either I owed a favor or somebody did something for me. Now I got like I feel inclined to like give them like a hoodie or a blanket or something, you know. But then it came down to like I was giving a lot of it. I ended up giving a lot of it out for free, so I wasn't really seeing that return. It was kind of just like money spent, and I tried to like kind of shift my mindset where it's like, well, that money was gonna get spent regardless, whether it was gonna be on
Drinks
food
and
at
shit.
Bado or shit, goddamn, I don't know, fucking off at like a bar or a club or something.
Might as well go to
might as well go hard for myself.
Hell
And so yeah, and then I told him what it was, and he was like, look, maybe like every 3 months or so we get together, we have a breakdown, and then I can help you out. You just let me know how much you need, and I will either say yes or no, and then we could go from there. So him and I have an agreement.
That's beautiful.
On what our split is. Yeah, God bless you. But yeah.
Hell yeah. But so how did like the new designs come about? Like what inspires you?
Oh,
what are you
so like I was saying, right? As much as I would like to put out a collection for like every season, man, everything I've ever made, I make it because I would either wear it or I want to wear it,
Right.
you know, or like I'll find myself like shopping on like certain sites or like with certain other brands, and I'll be like, damn, if it was like this, I would rather wear it if it was like this, or maybe if it had this design, boom, 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 you know, and like as much outside noise as I receive, as far as like, damn, bro, like you don't got nothing new, like when's a new drop, like at the end of the day, like, man, this is my thing, and I'm gonna live my life how I want to. Like, I don't really think there's a right or wrong answer or a right or wrong path to this. Like, unless my sole goal is like just money right now.
Right.
I want to keep doing this and taking my time as long as I need to until I figure out like what I can perfect, you know, which I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to. I feel like every year I've done this, I've gotten better and better. It sucks like on the consumer end because it almost seems as if I don't care because I put out something maybe like once a year, twice a year, if that, you know. But man, it's hard, it's tough being a creative with like outside voices and outside stressors
because they want more of the same thing, but you're like changing as a person.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, but I don't. So anyways, back to your question, what kind of like inspired like the designs for this year. So couple things. Last year I had put out, so basically what I have planned for 2025 is I'm putting out 3 variations of these heavy wash wide leg sweatpants, right?
Yeah.
And they're enzyme wash, they're like 15 ounces, they're heavy as fuck. And when I put those out last year, like everybody loved them, including myself. To this day, I wear them shits everywhere and anywhere for as long as I can. Like, they're my favorite sweats to wear to the airport, favorite sweats to wear to the gym, to go hoop, like anything and everything I wear them sweats to, right? And I get so many compliments, and everybody who's bought them, they all say the same thing, like, yo, I need more of those, you know, like they're just perfect.
Right.
And I was like, damn, did I finally like crack the code? You know, like, do I really got something going on? Do I have something like an Eric Emanuel thing who's perfected basketball shorts almost as close as Nike did, you know? So, but being the creative that I am, and the fact that I don't love to stay still, I also have a hard time with just settling on that, because like the thought of like my potential is gonna like torture me like in my head, you know? So I was like, okay, cool. I could perfect those sweats. I'll keep putting out more different variations of them, because it's still not perfect to me. It might be perfect to them, but it's not like perfect to me. Like, almost like I seen an interview of Alchemist, a producer, and some dude was like, yo, how do you know when a beat is done? And he was like, man, one of my homies who's an artist, like he paints. I asked him the same thing. How do you know when like your art is done? And he was like, when it makes me emotional. So I took that and I was like, damn, until I feel something like in my like soul that it's like fully complete and I can stare at it all day with a smile on my face,
Right.
almost as if like, you know, I'm listen for the viewers. I'm a big Drake fan. I'm an Aubrey Angel. Okay, when a Drake song comes out, that bitch gonna be on repeat all day.
Yeah.
I don't care. And how that song makes me feel on repeat all day, that's how I want my clothes to feel. You know, something in that regard, right? So, got the sweats coming, and then I was really on the hunt for. I've been on the hunt for. I think it's pronounced Koichan. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like a fully knitted like sweater via like sometimes they have zippers, sometimes they have buttons. Capital did one, I want to say maybe like 2 years ago. They only did one in black, and then they did one in like a denim blue type of thing. And
But it's like a cardigan?
it's not necessarily a cardigan. It's almost just like this, but some places do a zipper and some other brands do buttons.
Yeah.
This is not a Koichan. This is just a regular knit.
Right.
So I was on the hunt for one of those. I almost spent like $900 on it in New York at this store called Blue and Green, and I tried it on. I was like, damn, this shit is hot as fuck.
Fire.
Where am I gonna hot as in temperature?
True.
It was fire, but I was like,
yeah.
this is hot as fuck. Where am I even gonna wear this to?
I had an Avisa one like that, and then I put it in the wash. It got tight as fuck. I was mad as
crazy as hell for throwing it in the
it
wash.
It was my mom's fault. She threw it in the wash.
But same thing. I wanted an Avisa one and so on and so forth. But I was like, I am a hot bodied person. Where can I possibly wear these to? And like the minute some shit snags on to like you got exposed brick here, I got exposed brick at my crib. The minute the brick snags onto it, it's gonna piss me off because I spent so much hard earned money on this, and it's like, so I was on a hunt for a Koichan, cool, whatever. I kind of let it go, and then me and my boy Femi, shout out to my boy Femi, or our boy Femi, I should say.
I've met him once, but come on the pod.
We were both on the hunt for like this like Abercrombie track jacket, and he ended up like finding it, but he also came up on like this just like the Mexico soccer team track jacket. He wore it. We were out one day. I bought it right here, and I was like, damn, that shit look fire. And then I saw the Abercrombie one, and I was like, damn, that shit look fire. And I was like, you know what, I want the best of both worlds. I can't do a regular Koichan. I could do knits though. I love good knitwear. You know, like I think everybody deserves a good knitwear. You know.
Yeah.
And I wanted a track jacket, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a knitted track jacket. But how I like operate, my mind goes color scheme first, design later. What colors do I want? I want something brown. I also want something like pistachio green. Just for me, like I like dark colors typically look good on me, you know, but I also need a little variation, so I wanted something light.
Yeah.
And the pistachio green was just, I don't know. I feel like that colorway might be like one of the big colors for 2025. Also at these I have these pair of like Stussy Timberland field boots, and the laces are like pistachio green, mint green. And those came out like 3 years ago, and I fucking love those boots. I still wear them. I still get so many compliments. So boom, decided on the colorway, and then I was like, damn, what's gonna be the logo? And I was like, okay, for any fabric that's knitted, your logo can't be too thin or too fine, just because like it's gonna be represented in the fabric as very like, it's almost gonna look digitized, like it's gonna look pixelated as fuck, you know.
It's like jacquard, like that type of material where I know what you mean.
It's just not gonna look good. Like the chunkier the design or like the blockier it looks, like the better it'll look. Like once
that's how my beanies came out. I'm gonna show you after this, but
for sure,
I know what you mean.
Once it's like knitted on the fabric, like the fatter the logo or the fatter the design, the better it'll look. So I was like, damn, okay. So I started looking at every design I had ever put out. Now I haven't put out like a fuck ton of tees. It's always been, I feel like it's always been like one little regular t-shirt that's like so simple, little logo right there, something on the back. Same thing as hoodies, but then I've done like workman's jackets, the Dickies jackets. I've done the carpenter pants, like I've done the sweats, and on the carpenter pants I had designed like the leather patch. And it's a Lauredo Projects, and then it's I think like I wrote whatever the slogan was at that period of time, and then I just included like three like I don't even know what you would call this, but I feel like every brand needs like a essence of like another type of symbol or logo, like Stussy, how they use the 8 ball.
Right.
I don't know what they use I don't know why it's 8 ball, but whatever, right? Neither here nor there. So for me, when I first created Lauredo Projects, I was using the Subaru stars at first. But Subaru uses 3 stars. I was only using the 2 directly from their logo. And that stemmed from like a lot of like the way like a lot of my inspiration and like lookbooks came from just a ton of shit. And I'm a big Fast and the Furious fan. For the longest time, at least part 1 and part 2.
That's crazy.
And Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, Tokyo.
So I like I feel like street racing culture in like Japan and LA like definitely played into effect with like some of my design inspo. So I threw that logo on the leather patch. Then I was like, damn, I guess like an outline of a globe would be cool. Like a lot of like big like brands always incorporate a globe somehow, some way. And then I took like a stick figure, like I took like a stick figure of a man like sprinting, and I felt like those kind of embodied like those 3 kind of embodied what like in a symbolic way like what Lauredo Projects represents, just for me at least. So then with this one I was like, okay, the only ones that are chunky is the stick man, but it can't just be him sprinting. I feel like in this like time I've just been evolving, you know, the brand has been evolving. As much as like I'm always in a hurry, like it's never worked out to me. It's never worked out for me to be in a hurry as far as like a creative process goes. Right. So I'm going to take my time with this as much as possible, but it's ironic because I'm calling these the in a hurry knits, right? Okay. So yeah, and then I was like, what is like, I was like, okay, cool. So now what else do I want around it? Do I put the regular oval around it like ALD does, like every other brand is starting to put around their logo? And I was like, what was a household name that like I had a lot in my closet growing up, where I also like got a lot of inspiration from? Echo. Echo and Rockaware was like my go-to growing up.
In rotation.
And in the rotation. And I have remembered I went to like a panel at the MCA museum. I think it's called MCA. But it was between Mark Echo and Virgil, and like awe, because it's like, damn, like both of these 2 people, RP Virgil by the way, both of these 2 people sitting here, like it's so crazy how like fashion, streetwear, hypewear, whatever, like Mark Echo was like at the epitome of all that. And then now he's like at that moment he's like looking at the future of it. And then I'm pretty sure when he had that conversation with Virgil, he never would have thought in a million years like, yo, he's about to be the creative director of Louis Vuitton. Yeah. You know? And like,
and Mark Echo is the creator of Complex, right? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he retired.
We need a fact checker.
Yeah,
Jamie?
we need to fact check that. And also, I thought Echo was done.
Oh, they brought it back?
Apparently they're still actively selling items. So if I get a cease and desist, I'm gonna be happy with that.
He is, right?
Yeah. But like, you know how like his logo was like a chunky rhino, and then it had like I don't even know how you describe it. It's like as if a bullseye was turned into like an oval shape, and that's kind of and yeah, that was my inspiration for these.
I love that. Yeah, it's just like taking your childhood almost and like bringing it back. Yeah, like telling people about yourself.
Yeah, just like, and for the longest time everybody's like, man, like how would you like describe it? I was like, man, for me, I've always wanted multifunctional apparel with just nostalgic references. Like the only reason why, and like, you know, just taking it back, the only reason why I did those carpenter pants at the time, what was it, like 3 years ago?
The black ones, olive?
The black ones, the olive ones, and then the
it was like a beige.
That was like cream, like a cream colored.
Yeah, that shoe was crazy. You had your grandpa in it, right?
Yeah, I had my grandpa in it because my grandpa worked at a steel factory for like 18 years, but prior to that, his only job was like to paint hospitals, and he always had those painter's pants on.
Fire.
And So yeah, that was kind of the consensus behind that. And also like at the time, like I think they were coming in style. Like everybody was, trying to get carpenter pants, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of much the.
I also wanted to talk about the hoodie. You had a hoodie with a bunch of patches. Shout out Yadi.
Yes, shout
Yadi
out
sold the line, right?
Yaritza for that.
Yaditza.
That was a collaborative effort.
This is like an expensive ass hoodie too.
Yeah, it was expensive.
You had to. It was so many patches.
Yeah, it was expensive within reason though.
Yeah,
like I literally, she tried to teach me how to sew, but with what she was working with her level of expertise and my level of novice, I was not gonna learn. Especially not that. And she's like, okay, like we can learn a different time. We just got to get this done right now. And just one hoodie, like the amount of work and hours she put in, and all I could do was just crack her up, bring some blueberries, bring some refreshments, watch, like learn, but
yeah, Yadi's like one of the most stylish people I know.
Oh, 100%.
That's cool.
100%.
And then you had the release for all that at 606.
Yeah, I had the release for all that at 606. Shout out to them, by the way, for just allowing me to do that and sharing the space with me.
You've had a couple events in there, right? Like,
yeah, I've had I had one pop up there. Oh my god, and it couldn't have gone any worse.
Damn.
No, hold on. I'm gonna tell you why. Like it was a fun event. It was a fun event, but for me, somebody who's so like I crave perfection. It was in March. I don't know what type of like end of world temperatures we were having in March, but it was like 85 degrees.
Damn.
Bruh. It was like the end of March. I was like, all right, cool. There's still enough time. It's still enough time for like hoodie weather and shit like that. Then we're dealing with this hot ass day in the middle of March. And then like I link up with bro and he's like, yeah, the AC not working.
Damn.
Like the AC's just not going to do it today. And I was like, fuck. And I was like,
those are the worst when you're like when you're hosting and you're like sweating, like balls just running around.
No, literally everybody was in that bitch sweating. But like and like also shout out to DJ Miriam. She DJ'd the event. And she was also, bless her heart, she was also so kind to even be like, yo, if you got a playlist, I could just mix it really quick, or like just give me a couple songs and I'll kind of just take it from there.
Fire.
And yeah, she snapped. Everybody had a good time. Everybody still bought shit, like regardless. But the whole temperature thing was throwing me off because everybody was in that bitch dripping.
Yeah, you want.
And then all of a sudden at like 10 p.m. it drops to like 40 degrees. I was pissed. And then the second one we did, well, that one was fire. That one was amazing. I was out in Vegas like a week prior. B had hit me up, shout out to B, and was like, yo, I figured like since the shop is located in Logan Square, we both we both share some roots in the Humboldt Park area and people from Humboldt Park. Yeah. So, and you're Puerto Rican as well. We might as well like do something like during the Puerto Rican Fest week. Like, well, just drop a t-shirt, like some simple shit, throw an event, have Ozone DJ. Shout out to Ozone too. Damn, I got a lot of shout outs today. And yeah, so I just did like, I hit up Aldra and I was like, yo, I need these by a certain date. If you want to charge me more, that's fine. My boy performed exquisitely.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it was gonna look on these t-shirts because like, so basically what I had was like I just had a portrait of Roberto Clemente, like, but just blown up on like the side right here. And that was
screen printed?
Yeah, that was screen printed, and it was hella like colors in it, and I don't know how he did it, but he did.
Yeah, they do something with like CMYK where like you could do 4 colors.
And I was scared because I was like, I don't want to do DTG, like that's kind of ass. Like no offense to people that like do DTG, but like for me, it doesn't capture what I want because I'm big on like textures and feeling too, Slap that on and like everybody, like literally, I made a quick like mock-up of it, sent it to B. He created a flyer. The day of the like, we hadn't even opened yet. People were already on some like, yo, where that Clementi tea at? And I'm like taking everything out the box and shit because I'm running late. And I'm like, damn, what the hell? And
he posted the mock-up?
Yeah, he posted the mock-up of the 2 colors, the 2 colorways. One was cream, the other one was brown. And like my thought process behind picking those colors was like café con leche type shit. Those are the colorways I'm gonna do.
Very Hispanic.
Exactly. And yeah, it just went crazy. Then my boy Brandon came with like a VHS recorder. I wasn't even expecting him to do that. Made a whole like
Yeah.
Made a whole like little video compilation of it. Like the drinks were fire. The weather was amazing. Like everything was perfect. It couldn't have been more perfect, and I was not expecting any of that. I wasn't expecting to even sell out. I was expecting to sell like maybe a few to the homies and whatever, but like even some of my homies couldn't buy anything because I was like, yo, it's sold out.
That's fire.
And
That must be such a good feeling.
Shout out to Brandon too. Yeah, that was an amazing feeling.
I think like people just want to feel represented, so I think that, and also it being the Puerto Rican Fest, it was just good timing and like strategic for sure.
The great thing about it too was like and also just for context, so I'm half. My dad's Mexican, my mom's Puerto Rican. Culturally though, just like because of circumstances, I just know a lot more about like Puerto Rican side.
Yeah.
But like even like there was hella people that were buying it that weren't even Puerto Rican. They weren't. I think they could have been Mexican, Guatemalan, and they were wearing that shit. And they would always like either DM me or come back to me like, yo, I got a hella compliments on this.
Yeah, when it's fire, it's fire. And like it could translate.
But yeah. No, we've had a few at 606, and they've always been like, if there's one thing I can say like collectively, we know how to like pack some shit out. We'll definitely have guests in there. And that's what's most important to me. As long as everybody has a good time. If nobody buys anything, like fuck it, I don't care. Like,
were you the type of kid that would throw a lot of house parties?
Never. No, I didn't really. I didn't even have a house that
like
big.
So sociable and like.
No, bro. That's you know what? You're not the first person to tell me like you seem so sociable, bro. I am not a talker at all. Like I'm so like I can do a lot of shit alone and like, bro. Every like even man, there were times that like I was dating somebody and like I would wake up early on purpose just to sit like in my living room
by yourself
and just be by myself in
that's
silence.
me right now with my kids and like
well,
I wake up
though.
Well yeah, I think even if it was just me and my girl, I need that alone time.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
If you wake up at 5 o'clock, it's just everything's so quiet.
Yeah,
you could like really journal
and I mean like same thing like like I was telling you earlier, like yo, I had to cut my night early last night because I got to mentally prepare to talk, you know, and this and like I can't be like too overstimulated in social settings like that. Like I'll definitely like stop in somewhere, say what's up, you know, pay my dues, whatever. But it's like it's tough for me to stick around and like make conversation. I will say I'm trying though to get better at small talk. I think a lot of people who succeed in this life are just really good at small talk and really good at like
it's like a charismatic thing.
And really good at building relationships.
It's hard for me not to acknowledge that I'm speaking. Like right now, like I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm saying stuff, but like I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. Having a podcast has definitely helped, and I could like force myself.
That's what's up. Yeah, like I think for me, like when I'm speaking or when I'm speaking to somebody, my constant thought is like, don't run out of shit to say.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm like, fuck, like is that even normal? You know, but who knows? We're definitely a generation.
Man,
that's a
there's
little
this
more
one time
awkward.
I was like talking to a girl, and she said something like, you know, sometimes it's okay to be quiet with someone, and I was like. Okay, that's kind of fire. Like, yeah, maybe you just sit with someone.
Well, at least you didn't get offended by it. Some other people would be like, "Oh, okay, I'll just go fuck
maybe
myself."
I'm talking too much.
You know?
Yeah.
But no, never threw parties at the crib. I lived with my grandparents. We had like a regular 2-room apartment / townhouse. Like, ain't no way I was gonna throw a party there.
When you decided to take like clothing serious, like, were your folks like supportive, or they kind of push back on it?
Nah, the only time they got supportive was when I invited my mom to the 2048 pop-up when I had the Perrier sponsor and when I did the whole rollout with like the carpenter pants.
You had that fleece, right?
Yeah, when I had everything, and then I had the whole like we went to your hood and nobody knew you tease, like, bruh. And she like couldn't believe her eyes. She for a long time was like, "Oh, you're just wasting money. You're just wasting money, blah, blah, blah. I keep getting these boxes shipped to my house, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, girl, it's my money anyway. Yeah. Like, fuck, like, it's my life. I got one. Literally just got one. I'm going to live it how I want.
They're pushing education on you?
Or like yeah, for sure. For sure. Job? Yeah, no, my grandparents were definitely like, just like pushing education, get a job, get a pension, retire, all that shit. But it's like, you know, times have changed. I want to live 50 lives in just this one little life, you know? Like there's been like when I lost my first corporate job and I got laid off, they thought it was like the end of the world. They were like, you can move in. I was like, no, I'm gonna be good. Like y'all are worried about the wrong person because I'm not even worried.
You're probably happy.
Like, I'm gonna figure it. No, don't get me wrong. It was weird. It was a weird feeling for me, bro. Like I felt like so just unaccomplished. I was like, fuck, like this is what I get. I was in the gutter for like 2 weeks, but you know, and in times like that, like only one person could pull yourself up out of there, and that's you. And I had to do what I had to do, what I got to do.
This is like what 2020?
2020.
Like right after the pandemic or before?
Nah, this was like 2022.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
like
Okay.
2022.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then you started selling watches?
Yeah, and then I
Okay.
just
Got to it.
jumped off the porch and just started selling shit.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, man, and then like
Started
even
making more than you ever did. and then,
yeah, there was oh my god, bro. There was one
That's
time
funny.
in 1 month I made like 15 bands. I did not know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Blew it all.
I always looked at your brand and like other like people at 2048 like luxury. Like
Mhm.
you guys definitely wanted to push
Me?
that. I think so. Yeah, like the way that the designs like it's a little more elegant, like the cursives, the like the signature, like it gave off luxury. So I think that's
Good to
really
know.
yeah. I mean, I definitely inspired me with like my
Thanks.
clothes. And,
Oh, I appreciate that. I don't know if
or you weren't going for that.
I don't know. Honestly, like I said, I was just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And but I think after like just to bring it back, you know how I was talking about like it's ironic because I'm naming these the in a hurry, you know, knits or whatever. And like it's like a guy walking, jogging and then sprinting. It's just like a form of like evolving, you know, but I think after this run I think the Lauredo Projects name has served its purpose.
Interesting.
And I'm going to change it to something
I love
else.
that.
I always think about this all the time when like I'm at the crib and trying to get creative. I'm like, man, what would be a dream collab? Or when somebody asks me like, man, what do you use for inspiration or what motivates you? I always just start thinking like crazy ideas of who I would collab with, right? Being is that also let me rewind. And that goes as far as like either big brands or like local like Chicago brands. And it doesn't have to just be clothing. It could be like what's a local Chicago brand? Like gyms, you know, like or Maxwell's, you know.
You know,
like
it's funny. I have thought about that. I've already talked about this, but I think Aldi's and it's the fact that you worked with them is funny. But I would love to collaborate with Aldi's. And I think I don't know if they're not the only Chicago thing, right?
No.
They got multiple Aldi's everywhere.
Yeah, it's all over the country.
But I've always loved like how they do knockoffs, like of the cereals and stuff.
Okay,
And I think that would align perfectly.
they
with
low
Pabs
key are
Prince.
like slowly stopping.
Are they
doing that?
They got real brands now.
Yeah, they got Oreos now. They got Chips Ahoy's. I mean, they still got like the knockoff shit.
Yeah, but I would love to do a knockoff.
But being is that like you like, and I love that you do this. That you don't shy away from your Colombian culture with like the colors and like you always reference like Bogota. And a lot of people I meet in Chicago, at least, that are Colombian, like typically everybody's either from like Cali or like Medellin, stuff like that. If like there was ever something like Chicago based that was Colombian that you would want to collab with, like maybe this is not even a question. I think it'd be fire if you collabed with Pizza y Pan Paya, that bakery.
Yeah, that's fire. And that's funny because they're in Bogota. There's actually Pan Payas.
For real?
Yeah, that's like I don't know if they ran off with the name and they brought it here, or if they're like also affiliated.
Yeah.
But there's Pan Payas in Bogota.
Like, I don't know what the collab would be, but even if like you did a photo shoot in the bag while they're like frying up buñuelos,
yeah, I
like,
love that, bro.
that would
But
be
I've
fire.
actually thought about this with Mecatos. Have you ever been? Have you heard of
I've
Mecato?
never been to Mecatos.
So
I've
good,
never been to
bro.
Mecatos only because of like the issue with like parking and like
It's right in front of the police station. Too.
Yeah, like for me, like Pizza y Pan is like right by my grandparents'
I love
crib,
that,
so
yeah.
like I stopped there. But
They got a good Hawaiian pizza there. How you feel about Hawaiian pizza?
which kind? The Colombian kind or
Yeah, the
American
Colombian
kind?
kind, or any kind. Do you like pineapple on?
You know what's crazy? The times that when I do go to Puerto Rico and I hang out with my cousins, they always want but they want Hawaiian pizza with like they want it with pepperoni and pineapple.
Mhm.
I could get behind that because it's like greasy, salty, sweet, you know. But like if we talking about like Hawaiian pizza from like Pizza Hut or Little Caesars, you lost me. I don't know about all that. Or like Pizza y Pan, like I had the Hawaiian pizza, or even like the what is it called, like pan de piña? Am I tweaking, or is that what it's called? Not pan de piña. It's called like there's like piña. It's like a
something with
loaf
pineapple?
of bread, but there's like piña in it.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it's called.
Like a fruitcake? Maybe it's a Colombian. I don't know.
Some shit like
I feel like we put pineapple on everything. We got pineapple on burgers over there.
Yeah, y'all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all do.
Have you ever been
to Colombia? Yeah, like 3 times.
No way. Where?
Yeah, I've only been to Medellin and I've been to Cartagena. I've been to Cartagena twice.
Oh my god, my parents are going to Cartagena in next week.
It's fun.
The 12th. It's
fun.
like
it's hot.
I feel like it's
fuck.
the Puerto Rico of Colombia because there's like castles and stuff.
No,
there's,
low
like,
key it
the
is
coast.
because they even I don't know what it is, but like none of them have like I wouldn't say that like I only know one other person from Bogota and obviously Spanish was her first language, but her accent isn't like identical to like people from Medellin when they speak Spanish. But the Colombians in Cartagena, they damn near speak Spanish like how like Puerto Ricans do.
Yeah,
how like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans
anything
do.
off the coast, I feel sounds similar. Like they're just a lot quicker, a lot
quicker, a lot
less
like,
enunciated.
Yeah, they don't pronounce S's like us. Like I think we're the only ones that still pronounce R's like L's, but I think that's a us thing. But they definitely like cut a lot of words and use a lot of slang, which is cool.
I tell people Bogota is like the New York, and like Medellin is like California. I feel like
Medellin is very mountainous and pretty.
Yeah, but like the heat, it's hotter in Medellin. In Bogota, everything's like 70s.
Yeah,
like,
I heard Bogota don't really get like hot like
60s,
that.
70s.
Yeah.
It rains a lot. But that's why I love it. It reminds me of Chicago. Like,
that's what's up.
Windy and just like
is
you
it?
could wear windbreakers every day type shit.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But yeah, we got to go to Bogota, man. I feel like
hey, I would love that. I would, man. I
gotta show you around.
What's the flight like? 9 hours, 9+ hours?
Yeah, but there's always a connect. Well, they actually just brought back the one ways, but there's always like a connecting flight. You either stop at Miami or Panama.
Yeah.
But I think they just brought you could go direct now.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I want to go this year for sure. That's one of my goals this year, to do a show out there.
To do a show out there?
Yeah. I got a friend, and he invited me to do a weed-related show for 420.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, I don't know. Like, my first event in Colombia can't be weed-related. I can't invite my family.
It can't be, like, drug-related, right? Yeah.
Yeah, my parents, my whole family over there, they don't play that shit.
Is it legal out there? Like, do they have dispensaries in Bogota?
They don't got dispensaries, but you could probably get it easier. Yeah. So you wanted to work with me, but you didn't want to bother me?
It was like I was too shy to reach out. Like
yeah,
I was, well, how old was I back then? I was probably like 21. Yeah, like 21, 22. I had came across your thing back when like Explore pages were regular Explore pages.
Do you feel like you're better at that now? Like saying,
oh hell yeah. Like, if I need help, because to me it's like the answer is always going to be no if you don't ask. So I have nothing to lose by asking. And if I do, like, if there's any sense of losing in that conversation, it's like, I don't really lose shit because now I just learned, don't ever ask you for shit. And or sometimes a lot of people that say no to me, they'll be like, no, but I recommend this person instead, you know, which is like,
it's definitely intimidating, especially in Chicago. I feel like a lot of people look like they're mugging you, but they're not. So it's like,
that's what everybody says about me. Everybody says I look like I just have like a unapproachable.
That's
like,
what they say about me
vibe,
too.
but
yeah,
I'm a nice guy.
very nice. You just have to come say hi.
Just don't be rude. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't be rude.
Would you want to have an event for this next drop, or you?
Man, you know what I've been thinking about? It's like I want to have an event, but at the same time, I feel like I need an event, because I need people to feel like I need people to feel the fabric, to feel like the goods essentially, because like it is better in person, relatively speaking, like than what I post. You can only get so much from when you post, and so many people do clothing brands now. It's like we're all in a fucking bread aisle. There's so many different brands of bread, but we're all doing the same shit. You know what I mean? So it's like there needs to be a differentiator, and I need people to like actually touch or try it on or like set a vibe. And like it wouldn't be my first time throwing a pop-up, you know, but like I would want to do it on my own terms at a different space where I decorate the space, but I'm still in between on that. I've been contemplating doing like like on some, you know how Red Bull, they be sending Red Bull girls and like a little Mini Cooper, drive around the city, they'll pass out Red Bulls to people. Yeah. Like I want to do some shit like that Red Bull be doing on some street sweeper shit.
I love that.
And just pass out like a little free teas that I have been paid off like years ago.
Like a street team.
You know? Something like that. But I haven't really I haven't decided that part yet. Like I'm still taking it day by day. I still got to get the neck tag stitched on this, and then after that, like, you know, we'll move from there. But
do you have like a dream collab that?
Oof.
If it was like an underground place or
A dream collab
or locally.
number one. It's a hot dog spot up north on Damon and Lawrence. It's called Badacky's. I would love to do a collab with them. Badacky's. They're Korean owned. They have Korean wings on the secret menu. Fires. Some of the best hot dogs I've ever had.
It's like that tiger sauce, like the.
I can't describe it. You ever been to Crisp?
Yeah.
It's the same owners.
I love that.
That's their OG spot. They started doing like Chicago staple foods. I'd want to do it with them. I'd want to do it. I'd want to do another one with Lalabo, like the cologne. I don't know what I would name it, but I would want to do like
you big cologne guy. Like you got a bunch.
Nah,
okay.
I do. once I find my scent, like mine is like Lalabo.
Okay.
I mix two of them like a salad. Once I find those, like I'm cool for a couple years until I find the next thing. And then second, I would probably want to do. There's this moisturizer brand called Skin Food. I would want to do some shit with them, for sure. Those would be my like dream collabs. And then,
I love that.
And then obviously, I need to do an Air Force One. Once in my life, I would love to do an Air Force One.
You ever do like the Nike ID? I got an Air Force One.
I
there's
did,
not too many options.
But like, it's not the same. I need to see the materials in person.
Yeah.
Like I want patent leather. I want suede. I want like a complete like 3M wraparound. I don't know. I want a little bit of everything.
I'm big on like making stuff that I use every day.
Yeah.
Like
same.
I got water bottles, like just like houseware stuff.
House stuff.
But then I'm like, I don't really need to sell this. Like I guess like I just needed one for me.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, it ends up being like that. Like I made these back in December, and ever since, my dumbass, I didn't really start posting them until like maybe like January, February, because it became like my favorite thing to wear. And I felt like subconsciously I started gatekeeping it because everybody was like, it was this. And I was like, I made it.
You ever seen that clip? It was the guy who made Denim Tears. And then it was like Barry, Kermit Frost.
I don't know what clip you're talking about, but what they say.
He was like, I don't wear any of my shit. And then they were like pushing back on that because he felt like by the time it's out or something, he's already past it. And it's like, I don't know. I love wearing my clothes.
Me too. What the fuck?
So I thought, I got to show you that clip.
I don't like that. See, I'm not even the biggest fan of Denim Tears like that. Like it's kind of, I mean, shout out to them, but it's kind of cooked for me.
There's so many knockoffs. Like I don't even know what's real anymore. I always see it at the like swaps and stuff.
Which maybe like in his mind, he's like, damn, I made it. People are knocking my shit off, you know, but I don't know. Denim Tears was never really my thing like that. It was cool like at its like peak or like at its like underground peak.
Yeah.
Like I was on some like, oh, if you know, you know type shit.
Tremaine, that's his name.
Yeah, Tremaine Emery. Tremaine Emery.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about not wearing the shit you make. Like it's almost like blasphemy. Like I love what I make. I love what I do. You know, like I better wear it. I better wear in some regard. I will say though, those fucking tees that I made, we went to your hood and nobody knew you. I hated those.
Yeah,
I never wore those. I will never wear those. Like I feel so weird wearing it. I feel like
I like statement pieces, but yeah, sometimes they attract the wrong attentions.
Yeah, I feel like for me at least, you know, like some of my other homies that work at like a stereo, they wear it on the job. Imagine from 5 p.m. to like 2 a.m. everybody keeps asking them, what's that shirt? Where's that shirt? What's that shirt? You know, which is like low key like cool publicity, but yeah, it's not for me. Not that shirt.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you wear your stuff though too.
Yeah.
You know.
There's definitely some pieces that I'm ashamed of or like that I won't bring back. But then I realized like I could have done stuff a little better. So if I bring it back, like I'll update it. Or, like, stuff
it's just
like
all a learning process.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Damn. So no plans for events. You have no date on like a drop. How do you feel about pre-orders? Like, is that a thing for you, or you just always go straight for bulk?
This is truly how I see it. My approach may not be the same to others, or may not be the cup of tea for certain people. Like pre-orders, I feel like unless I'm like at a level of who do I aspire to be? Some of the brands I aspire to be, well, one of them for sure is Stussy. They don't do no goddamn pre-orders. They don't even need a pre-order. You know, like who am I to do a pre-order? You know, another brand like Cortez, like maybe he does pre-orders, maybe he doesn't, but you know, it's not really for me because it almost just feels like I feel like for me it almost feels like a cheap approach because then it's like pre-orders and then what? Regular orders and then what? Then it's like
You're like half-assing it almost.
yeah, it
Or
almost
like,
feels like half-assed.
if you really believe in the shit, like
Yeah, if I really
put your
believe in
money
this
where your
shit. So my new approach. Damn, I don't even want to talk about it. But I guess I got to tell you. My new approach is I feel like I'm at a point now where like I've created something that I think is perfect to me, like in my eyes. And I guess from the eyes of others, a lot of people are, like I said, are fucking with those
the sweats.
heavyweight sweats as
Right.
well as this. Like hella people have been asking me for, and they're asking me for the pistachio one, not even like this one.
Right.
Only a few people have asked me for the brown and orange one.
But would you have thought that if they didn't tell you? Like, would you have already known you perfected it? Even
yeah,
okay.
yeah, because I could get in my mind, I could get so many fits off in just this. And I'm not saying I'm like the most fashionable guy there is. Like I just put some shit together. If I can mix it with like regular pants and some sweats, to me that is my favorite piece of clothing in my closet for the year. You know what I mean? So I think like once I release the lookbook, once I release like the photo shoot, the videography work, I kind of feel like I'm just gonna keep capitalizing on that and do different variations of like marketing, essentially. Because I feel like for somebody who's still in like the discovery stage, in the eyes of others or like the general consumer, like my clothing brand page only got like 300 followers, you know, and shout out to all 300 of y'all, and they buy something every time, you know. But now it's like now I really gotta put my foot on the gas and on their necks because it's like I need this shit to like grow exponentially. And I feel like we're in probably like the marketing dynasty right now. Everything is such a video, everything is such a skit driven, you know. And like I would rather get creative with marketing and skits of one classic thing.
I love that. Yeah.
Every month, similar to like Cane's. They only got one thing on the menu, chicken tenders. So I only want one thing on my menu, but they got a new commercial every quarter, right? They got a new sponsor every other month. So that's kind of like what I'm shifting. I'm gonna shift my focus to, and we'll go from there, you know. And everything is just gonna be a learning curve, but I'm having fun with it. At the end of the day, as long as I'm having fun with it, I'm not mad about it, and I can't get stuck on the fact, or I can't dwell on the idea of if people are going to buy it or not. Because at the end of the day, that money is already spent. I still got old inventory at the crib from like 2021, you know? Like, am I going to sit around and cry about that money spent? No, I might as well just either donate it or give it for free or just keep on pushing.
Or just have like a on sale thing at your pop-up. Like, or you wouldn't want to, like, you don't want those to see the light of day?
Not really. Okay, for me at least, like on sale has a weird connotation for me, because I feel like on sale is really for like a big box store, you know, like somebody like myself. I would rather do like a student only event. Every one of my pieces are only $10 because I knew what it was being a broke college student and saving up all my coin to spend $100 on a Bape tee, you know, and that's the only Bape tee I'm wearing for the whole fucking month. Like it's the only tee I'm gonna wear consistently. I'm gonna wash it every other day, you know, because it was like drip at the time. But like one of the dudes I hoop with, he's like 22, he's still in college, and he went up to me, he was like, yo, I wanted to tell you something. I was in Chinatown the other day with my girl, and I seen 3 separate girls wearing like Lauredo stuff. I was like, why did you take a pic? And he was like, oh, my girl. And I was like, oh, okay, true. He's like, yo, but like I just want to let you know, like, and he didn't have to say any of this to me. We don't talk frequently. He was like, yo, whatever you're doing, like it's working, and like just keep at it. And like I would love to, like in some capacity, I would love to assist you in any way I can. Like I'm going to school for this, and I promise I'm gonna buy something one day, but I'm just like a broke college student. I was like, yo, I'm gonna stop you right there. What size do you need and what do you want? He told me, and I was like, bro, you talking to an retired broke college student.
Yeah.
Now I'm just broke. Nah, I'm crazy. But I was like, bro, just let me know what you need and I'll give it to you for free. If you really want it, I'll just give it to you. You know, all you gotta do is ask. And I'm at a stage in my life where like I'm perfecting the craft of just asking, you know, because you'll never know. Or like, if you really want to give me $10. Give me whatever your lunch costs, you know.
Yeah.
Give me $10 if you really want this, you know. But then I was like, damn, like a fucking bulb lit in my head, like. Or even when I did when B had hit me up, he's like, "Yo, you planning on doing anything for Black Friday?" And I was
Oh, I
like,
did see that. You guys were selling stuff for super like
yeah.
low, right?
So literally, I was like, I'm not even gonna call it a Black Friday sale. I just said like Black Friday activities. There's a $10 bin of everything Laredo. Just pull up, and whatever you find is $10.
Nice.
And there was a bunch of shit in there, and like everybody, they cleared that bitch out. Even the patchwork hoodie, I was like, the patchwork hoodie. $75. Still nobody bought it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I only have one left. Me and Yachty only made 2. One of them sold, which I'm thankful for. The other one kind of just sat around, but it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think like going back to what you're saying, it's important to keep promoting and like that article of clothing, because we're so quick to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
When like you didn't even promote it the whole way that you could have, like the reels, the commercials, like you said, having like celebrities or investing in like other models and stuff.
The whole celebrity thing, I'm kind of like iffy about, only because I've sent like a PR package to an athlete once and never got shouted out. So it is what it is. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Like unless they hit me up, you know, cool, whatever. Or unless like one of like my stylist homies that like really be fucking with athletes and stuff like that. Unless he hits me up for something, or like I could showcase it in like his store, that would be cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, stylist is where it's at. I think they help you like connect you to the
for sure.
But yeah, man, I think we've pretty much talked about everything that I wanted to talk about.
I think honestly, like the way it was just like snowballing, I had an amazing time, man. No, I appreciate you. I thought
you're always welcome at the store. Could you shout out like your socials and like your website?
So personal socials, I am on private. So
JJ.
Yeah, it's gonna be JJJJJ 8J's JJJJJ.com, and then the clothing brand is Lauredo Projects JPG, all on Instagram, and just be on the lookout for all the updates there. I'm posting daily until I drop this shit. So we're gearing for middle of March, possibly end of March, but definitely at some point in March. So
spring.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Pabs Prince, pabsprince.com, the Pabs Pod. Make sure to subscribe, follow. We're almost getting close to 50. I think you're episode 43.
Hey.
And then I'm excited. I appreciate all the support. You could shop at pabsprince.com, palpable.com. I'm probably going to merge those eventually. It's kind of stupid for me to have 2 websites.
Yeah, and pull up to PSA over here in Humble.
PSA Chicago.
Where we at? What is this, North Avenue and Maplewood?
Yeah, this is Humble Park.
Yeah. So please pull up. Everybody in the hood and the community, like just come on down.
We're actually open right now, so 12 to 5 p.m. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.